Hello, everybody. I'm Lori Jo Vest, and I am here with Kylie Metcalf with Pop Speed Digital Marketing. And we are here to talk about social media channels and how they differ from each other. We're going to cover a lot of ground. There's a lot of different channels that we regularly use. We're going to focus on those, but we'll also veer off a little bit into the channels that people are going off to, like Blue Sky, some of those as
Mhm.
well. There's even something new happening on Tumblr, Kylie, believe it or not.
Ooh.
So yeah, so tell us what we're going to be talking about.
So kind of what Lori said, every channel has its own nuances, its own culture. You know that as just an everyday average user, and it's the same is true as for brands across the board. So something that we put really front and center in all of our strategies and what we do, not only for ourselves but for each one of our clients, is make sure that we're not using every single channel the same way and expecting the same results. That's because
Mhm.
cultures are different, algorithms are different, and audience expectations and consumer behaviors are all so different depending on the platform. So it's really important to go into each channel and be very strategic and intentional with what you're using it for. That's not to say there's no place for really similar content that you just kind of want to get in front of as many eyeballs as possible, but adjusting it and really honing it per channel is going to be well worth the extra few minutes it takes to do that. So today we're going to jump into what those differences are and the specificities of each of our most used channels.
Mhm. And not to say that the same content in some cases won't be effective on all those channels. You'll just want to
Mhm.
make some, adjustments to either the creative, the copy, something like that. And sometimes not even run the post on that channel at all. You may run it
Exactly.
on Facebook and Instagram, but not on LinkedIn for different
Right.
reasons. So let's talk about Facebook. Facebook is the OG. Connection is everything. I remember, yes, I have been in social media this long. I remember back when seeing a television program in maybe 2008. It was the news on at, 5 or 6 o'clock. And they were talking about Facebook, and we all thought, well, isn't that cute? They're talking about social media. We had no idea it was going to do what it has done since then.
Mhm.
18 years, I've been in various forms of social. And funny thing is, Facebook is still where it is, in spite of the fact that they have eliminated their fact checkers.
Mhm.
That's where people are. There are huge communities. I'll give you one example. We have a client who has a bicycle product that he needs to reach cyclists. There are so many groups and publications on Facebook and Instagram for reaching those people. And the cost per click is really low. Who would
Mhm.
think, athletic cyclists are on Facebook because their
Mhm.
groups are absolutely amazing. And as a result of all those people being on Facebook in bicycle groups and following bicycle pages, we're able to target those people that are in those groups and follow those magazines publications. So there is some really great ad targeting. Yes, it's a dumpster fire. Excuse me. Yes, it can be challenging. um, there are moments I'm banging my head on the desk because it just won't do what I want it to do, right? But there
Exactly.
it's the fact that you can go to the back end of Meta and create ads on both Facebook and Instagram. It's really valuable. In some of the cases, we don't even advertise on any of the other platforms, just Facebook and Instagram, because the results
Mhm.
are there.
Yeah,
So, what else
absolutely.
about Facebook?
I think some important things to consider. It's funny, I was just having a conversation the other day with my mom about this, about social media and Facebook is a dying channel and yada yada yada. We hear it all the time. I beg to differ. I think
Yeah.
I can understand the stereotype or the assumption where people think, oh yeah, Facebook, it's just Facebook. Nobody is getting off of Facebook. Everybody that's had an account is still there, and everybody that wants to continue to keep in touch with all of the people that have those accounts are still there. Whether or not it's their most used platform for younger generations in particular, probably not. but people
Right.
are still there. As Lori said, it was the OG platform. I remember begging my parents for my account when I think I was in like 7th or 8th grade, maybe. And I'm still there, you know? So I think it's upwards of 3 billion now users. So it's very
Yeah.
difficult to call the most downloaded social media app a dying platform, right? So
Yeah.
for us, it's one of, I would say, Facebook and Instagram are our two most recommended across the board platforms for pretty much any and all client. So that's consideration number one. It's important to be on Facebook pretty much no matter what industry your brand functions in. With that being said, because particularly with younger generations, we're going there to keep up with grandma and grandpa or our parents or former coworkers or people that we knew in high school or whatever the case may be. We're not going there to be promoted to. However,
Mhm.
there are still promotions everywhere on Facebook. So to combat that, you want to look like just a normal feed, right? You want to fit in to what people are
Blend in with
seeing
the
in their everyday.
crowd.
Exactly. So what people are seeing between their friends or whoever it is. That is again why we say smiling faces, real people,
Yeah.
highlighting really pretty imagery and things like that is so important. As Lori said, the ads on Meta are so effective. It might take us a minute to get there with how
Yeah.
messy the back end is sometimes, but the ads are very effective. So when you can really hone your ability to fit in and to not be too salesy, your ads will get attention.
Mhm.
That being
And
said,
I do think
continue.
it's
Oh,
it's
go ahead.
more of a it's more of a B2C profile than it is B2B though. Correct? Would you agree with
Absolutely.
that?
I
Yeah. You
completely
can
agree.
reach
Absolutely.
entrepreneurs, you can reach those people, but I think you really want to go over to LinkedIn for that. So
Yeah, absolutely.
keep
Oh,
going.
completely agree. In terms of the logistics, 140 characters. This is different than actual, words and letters. Characters, 140 characters. That's each individual letter, space, period, etc. is optimal length on Facebook. We're never going to tell anybody if they have a long form story to not test that out once in a while, but the briefer, the better when it comes to creating content as a brand on Facebook. And
Mhm.
as we've been talking about ads on Facebook, you will get your best results if you budget for that ad spend. We have clients
Mhm.
that were allotted $60 a week, about 200-ish a month to spend for them. We get great clicks. We have others in the past where we've been spending up to, I think, about 4,000 is our highest in
Mhm.
the past. And you don't need to reach that 4,000 mark. We see results with the
Mhm.
$60 a week client. Obviously more is better, but by prioritizing some of your budget to put towards ad spend, you are ensuring that not only are you reaching far and away more people than you will organically, but you're going to reach people that are specifically targeted to see your content
Yep.
based on their preferences and behaviors.
Absolutely. So you're going to reach that specific audience that you're looking for. And it can be, I mean, there's a lot of different things that they can target specifically. You can target by household income, which I
Yeah.
think is really interesting. So you can go with, 10 cities in your metropolitan area, 25% and above, or what am I saying, 10% and above household income. So you could
Mhm.
target the wealthiest people in these specific geographic areas. You can also target retired people in those areas. You can target cyclists. You can target people who read certain magazines. I mean, it's almost limitless. I mean, there's just so much.
Yeah.
But if you don't spend anything, you might reach 10 or 20 people.
Right.
So if you're going to Facebook to market and you're not putting an ad spend behind what you're posting, not sure it's going to be effective. There is a way of making it effective, but it requires an investment. So,
Mhm.
all right, final
Absolutely.
thoughts. We basically recommend Facebook to the vast majority of our clients. There are some businessy clients that we are only on LinkedIn and, some things like that, but it's not a dying channel. In fact, it is just evolving and changing. And I want to touch on the fact checkers and how the fact checkers being gone from Facebook is kind of freaking everybody out. And there's all this, conversation on the channel. Personally, I've never been of the impression that the fact checkers were doing a good job. The things that get filtered out, and then when you ask for, if you get blocked or something gets, gets taken out of the algorithm, one of your posts because the filter caught it, when it goes to a human, a lot of times they don't approve it, even if you've given them justification and you are within the community guidelines. So I just don't think the fact checkers do a very good job. And the community notes that they're talking about bringing are things that will help regular people inform each other. And I've had friends, who had organizations that were related to, supporting the Black community that had their pages just completely taken down and told that they were, doing awful things when they were not doing those awful things, and they couldn't get them back, couldn't get the pages back. So going to community notes could be something that actually improves the channel. It might not, but it could. So we're taking a wait and see approach. We're keeping an eye out. We're making sure that we are on, we know what's happening. I mean, I'm on there all the time. We know what's happening. And if it starts to go south, we'll warn our clients, kind of like we did about Twitter. We're not really much on Twitter these days with clients because it's really ugly over there. They use community notes, but they also attract a certain population that likes to be aggressive and nasty. And, I've seen things there that I can't unsee. It's a bummer. But Facebook is still Facebook. It's, as of now, it's doing what it does. People are still going there. And where else could you communicate with your third grade best friend? I mean, really. So Facebook is what it is. We're all there. Kids are there to see what their parents are doing and what the other family members are doing. So yes, on Facebook. So Instagram is another one that we recommend to a lot of our clients if it's B2C. Imagery and lifestyle leans very heavily into influencers. There's a lot of people there that are focused on different areas, whether it's health coaching or beauty or, selling Amazon clothing. There's a lot of people that sell there as influencers.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and the ad functions go through Meta, but you can also go direct on Instagram, and their targeting and the results you get there are pretty strong, don't you think?
Yeah, I would say so too. I think what's it's one of those things that we have a lot of conversations about with our clients. One of the only times you can have, other than in like a story, you can have a clickable link on Instagram is when you're running ads through Meta. So it's not only do you see similar results depending on the content of your ads, but it also increases your features for like your audience to be able to interact with you. So ads on Instagram are another one very similar to Facebook, where it's just if you're trying to sell product, service, whatever the case may be, it's really important that you budget for that ad spend. And it works. It's the back end of Meta is difficult. It is difficult to master. It changes all the time. However, it is made easier because you get the 2-in-1 for Facebook and Instagram, and you can make adjustments, and you're reaching different demographics too. So it's very nice to kind of test and learn and compare. We'll do this often when we run ads through Meta on Facebook and on Instagram, and see really where are our leads coming from? Where are the most clicks coming from? And, maybe we put more money towards Instagram for this client for this particular ad, whatever the case may be. It's very user friendly in the sense that it allows your interaction between brand and customer to be very seamless.
And there are a lot of different ways you can reach people who don't follow you on Instagram too. We found that sharing posts as highlights, is that what they're called? Stories?
As stories, yep.
Sharing now as stories gives you sometimes 80% of the viewers are non-followers, people who don't follow you. So it's really interesting. I noticed here, Reels may be the new TikTok. nobody knows what's going on with TikTok. We have no idea.
Right.
Nobody really knows what's going to happen. Um, Instagram has these wonderful reels. It's the same, similar experience, different algorithm.
Mhm.
And a lot of people, you'll see a lot of influencers moving from TikTok or duplicating their content as reels now to kind of
Exactly.
be a bit of a ahead of the curve for whatever's going to
Yeah.
happen on Instagram. Now we've got Alex here who says he doesn't understand Instagram. Well, you got to spend some time on it, Alex. Maybe that would help. Go over there, post some beautiful photos, get to know some people, and hang out a little bit, and it'll help you understand it. Reels, he doesn't understand Reels. Do you want to talk about Reels, Kylie?
Yeah, I think if you spent any time on TikTok, the way that it functions is very, very similar. It's 90 seconds or less, I believe. Last time we checked, pretty sure it's still 90 seconds. 90-second or less vertical videos, same shape as TikTok, and really the opportunity for reels are endless. You can post yourself talking about whatever it is that you need to talk about to sell whatever it is you're trying to sell. You can post really, really beautiful imagery focused videos of whatever's in front of you. You can do even sliders, just carousel photos can go there. I mean, really, in terms of video content, you could do fully graphic videos if you wanted to. That's not always our recommendation. We think beauty and people are best. But it's a great space to get creative and reach again a lot of people that aren't already following you. In terms of
Mm-hmm.
your normal what shows up when you get onto Instagram feed that you just scroll through and see a little bit of everything. When you're in there, you're going to see for the most part people that you follow or brand ads or things of that nature, just things that are either destined to be in front of you because you've decided that you want to see their content or things that others are paying for you to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um and when it comes to reels, when you're scrolling through reels, it's very similar to TikTok, where you're going to see anything and everything that the algorithm thinks that you're going to be interested in based on your previous
Mm-hmm.
engagements. So it's
Got it.
it's I would say that really focusing on reels within the Instagram platform. I see Alex's next question: Instagram or reels? Reels are they're a
Video on
feature of
Instagram, right?
Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They function on Instagram, and I think we're seeing a big swing again towards Instagram Reels with TikTok
Mm-hmm.
being so up in the air. As long as it's available, people are going to be on TikTok and people are going to be preferring it. But in terms
Mm-hmm.
of video content on Instagram, prioritizing Reels and carousel posts is going to
Mm-hmm.
be huge in 2025.
Absolutely. And Alex, as far as being on TikTok, I might wait and see how it plays out. Depends on what you're promoting. If you are promoting a product or a service and you've got a really entertaining way to present it, absolutely you should be on TikTok. If you as a person, if you want to go to TikTok and just scroll and see all kinds of amazing things, great, go create a personal profile. There's still a lot of wonderful content on TikTok. I think the reason that China may be holding off on selling their algorithm, their TikTok algorithm, is because
Yeah.
it's magical. It's a magical algorithm. Alex, you'll go over there and you'll be there forever. It's crazy. It's like it really does. It's very addictive. And they know based on what you watch and what you react to, and they feed you more of that. Before you know it, you're like, this is so awesome. So you have to kind of set a timer. You may have to.
Right.
But wrapping up Instagram, they do have some nice shop features too, Kylie, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say again, the Meta platforms, Facebook and Instagram, in terms of their
Yeah.
shop features, you can go onto a brand's page, business page, and just shop like you're online shopping in a not a
Yeah.
normal day, totally normal. So it's one of those things if you're retail or sell wellness products or things of that nature, or we've talked about our like cycling products, things like that. If
Mhm.
your brand is strictly selling various products, being there and making sure you really understand those shop features is so important. I can't tell you how many Instagram ads and shop our page, on Instagram I've fallen for, because it's so easy. I'm
Oh
there
yeah.
anyway, and oh yeah, I need this. Might as well get it right
Click,
now,
click, click. Google Pay.
Exactly. Just a couple of clicks away from something I've been thinking about all week
Yep.
anyway. So
Yep.
it's so easy,
Um,
and
yeah.
it makes your consumers' life easier too. So
Yeah,
two birds,
it
one
does.
stone.
It really does. Absolutely. So, a couple things about Instagram as we wrap this up. You don't want too much graphic content. People do not come to Instagram to see your graphic images with all kinds of text and stuff on them. Don't bother. Keep it to Facebook, keep it to LinkedIn, keep it on the channels that are more B2C oriented. Or use more people, just use people instead. And then make sure that if you have graphics, it's a little bitty line across the bottom, or the messaging is in the post copy.
Mhm.
Because people just scroll right on by. They're not there to see ads. A graphic with lots of text on it is an ad. So
Yeah.
use carousels and reels. They are really, really popular right now. Carousels are, maxing out on the algorithm and really getting some nice engagement, click-throughs.
Yep.
Reels, you reach a lot of people that are not your followers necessarily. So there's a lot of things on Instagram to do that you'll want to spend some time over there if you've got products that are appropriate for the channel and content that's
Absolutely.
appropriate. So final thoughts. We have very few clients that we don't recommend Instagram to. There's a space for everything, and the Meta connection, the Meta advertising tool allows you to really create some great, highly targeted ads. If you're new to either channel, you can do page growth ads. That's one of the things that
Mhm.
we do for some of our clients is we can create an ad that goes to your target that the call to action is to like your page. We can do one
Yep.
on LinkedIn that the call to action is to visit your page. And when we do
Yep.
those kinds of ads, we watch the followers go way up on those clients'
Yeah.
accounts. So
Exactly.
okay, LinkedIn. Alex wants to know what Threads is. Oh gosh, Alex, Threads is just another wannabe from Facebook. There's some people there. There's some people on Blue Sky, but the
Mhm.
OGs, the original channels are still going really strong. And I
Yeah.
personally don't have time for any more channels, so I'm
Yeah.
not over there. I've seen some news and some product stuff on both Blue Sky and Threads, but it's just not, it doesn't do enough for our customers for us to recommend it yet. So, all right,
Yeah.
so let's talk about LinkedIn. Go, Kylie. I'll let you go first.
LinkedIn. So it is just, of course, the professional social media platform. Again, we always stick to the recommendation that in a more consistent basis, brief is best when it comes to social. However, long form content is really having its moment on LinkedIn right now. If you have a story you want to tell, Lori, I know you do this on your personal account often, and these like tend to blow up most for you. Um, it's if you start a long form with just a pithy question or a very interesting headline. I think I've mentioned this before. I know somebody that has a very interesting story of how she started her business, and one of her go-tos is getting fired from my job was the best thing that ever happened to me. What an interesting thing to say. Now I want to read the rest of it, right? So things like that, starting a longer form post that ends with a call to action, or a point, a message, something you want your audience to take away from it. That is where long form success lies, when you have an interesting story and you really put attention towards gripping whoever's reading it instantly.
Mhm.
LinkedIn has a group function as well, similar to Facebook. We've tried it. Facebook's is better. That's not to say that there's no point never giving it a go. But it's less regulated. I think less people are
Yeah.
really interested in it, depending on, what the industry or point of the group is. So we've dabbled. We probably will dabble again someday. It's not a part of our everyday right now, though, but it is
Yeah.
an option. And again, ads here are super highly targeted. I know, we
Mhm.
can target. We've worked on this recently. Target specific schools and educators at those schools. So
Mhm.
it really allows you to deep dive into who it is you wanna talk to, and making sure you're reaching them.
Yeah. And I'll give you an example. We have a global client that needs to reach engineers in the automotive space globally. And with LinkedIn ads, we can reach global audiences in that engineering and automotive space. And it's been really interesting to see how with a small amount of money you can get, like 60,000 impressions for like $150. And if your targeting is solid, you will reach those people. If your content is good,
Mhm.
they will engage with it. So it all plays together. Highly targeted ads with great content, with click-throughs to action, they work. And
Yeah.
they do work on LinkedIn. It's a little bit more expensive than Meta, but not much, really not much for the
Mhm.
value you get. Okay, so don't lose authenticity. Just because it's more professional, that doesn't mean that people don't want you to be authentic. However, I would advise people to stay away from politics and
Mhm.
highly controversial political conversations simply
Absolutely.
because they often go so dark and negative right now. You don't
Mhm.
want your feed, your friends on your connections on LinkedIn, you don't want their feeds to be filled up with your engagement on political posts. You just don't want that.
Right.
It's not effective. Politics has a place on social media. If you want to share politics, Twitter, Facebook, perfect. Go. It's awesome. You can
Right.
go there and have conversations with like-minded or not like-minded people, whichever works for you.
Right.
And the other thing we'll tell you is it pays to have a business page on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
because that allows you to advertise. And even again, $150 a month can make a difference. It
Yeah.
pays to have a page. However, one of the best things you can do with a page is have your people share that content on their own profiles, because the
Mhm.
leadership profiles will get more viewers simply because they're personal profiles.
Yep.
So both is a really good option. We like to oftentimes come in and handle the social for the leaders on LinkedIn, or the one leader. Like we have a client now that the program manager runs the program. We do her LinkedIn, and we also do the organization's LinkedIn. And sometimes
Mhm.
we have her share from there. But a lot of times, making sure that your leadership team is actively using the platform, even if someone else is creating the content for them, is
Mhm.
important because it does make a difference. All right.
Absolutely.
Let's see what else. Go ahead, Kylie.
Final thoughts on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is one of the key platforms where your audience and messaging strategies need to take a shift, especially when it comes to Facebook and Instagram. Simply because the culture is so different, right? We're reaching different people on LinkedIn and for different reasons than we are on Facebook and Instagram. LinkedIn, you could do B2C, you could do B2B. The options there are a little bit more limitless. So it broadens your scope of reach a little bit more, and allows you to be
Mhm.
a little bit more creative with your messaging, because you're reaching consumers and brands or other businesses that might be interested in working with you for whatever reason. And another
Mhm.
example of this, that same client Lori just mentioned, where we do the leader and the organization's social media. For that client, our goal on Meta platforms, so Facebook and Instagram, is to reach families, parents, guardians, people that know people that are grieving. But
Mhm.
on LinkedIn, it's a little bit more important for us to target educators in particular, because grief comes to school, right? So
Mhm.
instead of, you don't get many parents or guardians in the workforce that come to LinkedIn to be reminded of their grief, or look for parenting
Yeah.
tips. It's not really the point of the platform, right? That's more of
Yep.
a less professional social media type of search. So it's really important. That's a prime example of where to consider how your messaging from platform to platform should vary.
Mhm. Yes, we've done that before too. Like we had a client that was promoting skilled trades careers to
Mhm.
high schoolers and their parents, and we reached and educators. A lot of times the
Mhm.
kids came to the program through the educators, so we targeted educators on LinkedIn, parents and students on Instagram and Facebook, as well as TikTok. So different content, different channels. So
Absolutely.
YouTube is so interesting to me.
Yeah.
It is all video content, but in an attempt to compete with TikTok, they added this feature called Shorts, which used to be less than 60 seconds. Now I think it's up to 3 minutes.
I think it's three
And
minutes. Yep.
yeah, and you can get a lot of organic reach and interest and attention using Shorts. So if you have video content, it's always recommended, honestly, if you can do it, to cut
Mhm.
out little chunks from that longer form content and create shorts. They're in the vertical format like you see on TikTok, and
Mhm.
then push those to the shorts feed, and you'll get a lot of attention that way because YouTube will then send that to people that are interested in that particular subject, to people using
Mhm.
their algorithm. It's all about the algorithms. And depending on
Absolutely.
how interesting it is, what the headline is, you can get up to 1,000 impressions organically like that.
Yeah.
It's really an interesting platform. And I've experimented with it personally for my podcast. And one of the most important things you can do there is be consistent. If I did a challenge and was there every day for 30 days and 38 days, because there are 38 lessons in my book. So I did a lesson a day for 38 days. And I grew the channel, really got to know it more. And when I was consistent and on there every single day, my views overall were just exponentially higher than when I went back to like once a week or something like
And
that was more
subscribers
reasonable for me.
increased too quite a bit during that time frame, didn't it?
Yeah, I
Your
got a lot more
subscribers. Yeah.
subscribers. So
Yeah.
being consistent is really, really key. You can monetize it once you get to 1,000 and have there's a couple other factors in place. They're going to be running commercials in front of your content at that
Mhm.
point. So you may want to monetize, you may not want to monetize. If you're
Right.
monetizing, the money goes into your pocket. And I have
Mhm.
people that I know that are making, $2,000, $3,000 a month
Mhm.
on YouTube. It's a lot of work. It
Yeah.
can be where you make or break your business. We also have, it's got some really interesting factors in that you can pay a little bit of money and get your content put in front of a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
To the point where there's a very technical client related to the automotive client I mentioned earlier that has over 1 million followers on YouTube.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it's just because, again, they're consistent, they're constantly putting out content, and they're doing some advertising. So,
Yeah.
um, what else we got here, Kylie?
So again, I think consistency is the most important thing here. I think if anything, we really learned that in Lori's experiment that she talked about for her podcast. I think another thing to really work into your YouTube strategy is to differentiate your content. And I don't just mean what goes in your videos. I mean the length of your videos. I think this LinkedIn Live that we're doing right now here. This is going to be a long form video that lives on our YouTube once we're done here.
Mhm.
It's going to move over there. But taking clips from something like this or taking clips from your longer form videos, turning them into YouTube shorts and really getting juice from every single asset that the platform has to offer and differentiating your content in that way is
Mhm.
so important. And it helps you be consistent because for us, once we've gone through this video one time, hopefully we have a lot of intelligent things between me and Lori that we've said that we want to repurpose, right? So again, I think taking the content that you have and doing as many things as you can with it is really important on YouTube. You'll see the last little
Mhm.
point on this slide, repurposing your content. This is a great example of that. And again, the more you post, the more you grow. I think that's true on every channel. I think YouTube is one that we
Mhm.
found it might be the most important for.
And I would say, let me go back to that. The more you post, the more you grow means a lot in a lot of different contexts.
Yeah.
If you are uncomfortable doing videos, challenge yourself to make a bunch of videos. Make
Yeah.
a daily challenge, and whether you like it or not, put it up, because
Yeah.
that's how you personally grow into being comfortable being on camera and putting your videos up. The more you see yourself, the more you hear
Yeah.
yourself, the less you pick yourself apart, and the more you will get out of the video that you put out onto the social channels, because video is king. It just
Yeah,
is.
I was just gonna say,
Um,
I think it's so funny
yeah.
because we'll run into clients where they say, we talk a lot about video content, especially with our new clients. Like, this is really where it's at. If we want to be successful, we got to do video. And we hear time and time again, well, what if I hate seeing myself on camera? And what if I hate doing videos? And we're like, then we have really bad news for you.
Get over it.
Yeah, you kind of, it's so important in being successful in your social media marketing on
Yeah.
every platform that, yeah, it's not, we can't coddle you there. You gotta do video.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, the final thoughts on YouTube, the moral of the story, overall is don't use each channel the same way. Use lots of video.
Yeah.
And don't expect the same results if you put the same thing up on every channel. It just won't work. But there's a lot out there to talk about. We could go on and on. We could do a whole workshop about videos, because
Yeah.
there's so many different things you can do that people don't think about. They don't
Maybe we do that next
understand,
month, right?
Yeah, that's a great idea. And the
Yeah.
other thing, bonus, is we can take this live event, transcribe it, and turn it into a blog post for our website.
Mhm.
So again, another use. So repurpose the things that you use on social as often as you can, maybe not in the
Mhm.
exact same way. And
Right.
that's what we've got for you today. So visit popspeeddigital.com if you'd like to know more about our small agency. We help busy marketers create social media and digital marketing efforts that get ROI. We are both, Kylie and I, open networkers on LinkedIn. So if you are watching this and you're not connected to either of us, connect with us. We're very open with our community and happy to help. I always offer a half-hour audit of your current social media effort at no charge to get to know you and help you get to know us. So if you'd like something like that, please get in touch with me here on LinkedIn. And if you are watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next month with some more really helpful, useful information about digital marketing. So
Yes.
thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.